My beloved child, I see you there, right where you are in this moment. I see your heart, heavy with the weight of all you carry. The burdens that have left marks upon your soul. The questions that keep you awake at night. The tears you've shed when no one else was watching. Nothing about your struggle has escaped my notice. I want you to know that I understand your pain. The disappointments that have shaken your faith. The doors that seemed to close just when you needed them to open. The prayers you felt went unanswered. The loneliness that sometimes wraps around you even in a crowded room. I see it all, and my heart breaks with yours. Many days you've awakened wondering if anything would ever change. If the heaviness in your spirit would ever lift. If the circumstances that have drained your joy would ever transform. You've wondered if I've forgotten you, if perhaps your voice is too small among the millions who call out to me daily. Let me assure you, I miss nothing. Not a single tear. Not a single whispered prayer. Not a single moment when you needed strength but felt you had none left. The world around you moves so quickly, doesn't it? People rushing from one moment to the next, rarely pausing to truly see one another. But I am not bound by time. I am not distracted by the noise of this busy world. My attention to you never wavers. I know the number of hairs on your head. I know the dreams you've been afraid to speak aloud. I know the deepest longings of your heart, even the ones you struggle to admit to yourself. When others have misunderstood you, judged you unfairly, or failed to see your true heart, I have known you completely. When your own thoughts have accused you, when you've looked in the mirror and struggled to love what you see, I have looked at you with perfect love. Not a love based on your performance or achievements, but a love that chose you before you took your first breath. The path you've walked has not been easy. There have been unexpected turns, steep climbs that left you breathless, valleys so dark you couldn't see the way forward. Some days, just continuing to put one foot in front of the other has required more courage than anyone else will ever know. I want you to understand that none of this has been wasted. Not the struggles. Not the tears. Not the moments when your faith was hanging by the thinnest thread. The trials you faced were never meant to break you, though I know at times they brought you to your knees. But it is often on our knees that we find our greatest strength. It is in surrender that we discover a power beyond ourselves. Your willingness to keep going despite the obstacles has not gone unnoticed. Your faith, even when it felt as small as a mustard seed, has moved mountains you cannot yet see. I know there have been times when you've wondered why the suffering, why the waiting, why the silence. These questions don't offend me. I created you with a mind that seeks understanding. But some answers can only be received when you trust the one who sees from beginning to end. What appears as delay in your life is often my protection. What feels like rejection is frequently my redirection to something far better than you could have imagined. Release your grip on how you thought your story should unfold. The narrative you've been writing in your mind, let it go. My thoughts toward you are of peace, not of harm. My plans for you are for a future filled with hope. But you must be willing to open your hands and release your own carefully constructed plans to receive what I have prepared for you. The world has taught you to strive, to push, to make things happen through your own strength and determination. There is a time for action, yes. But there is also a time for stillness. For waiting. For allowing yourself to be carried by a love that never fails. This is that time. Rest in me now. Not the kind of rest that comes from sleep, but the soul-deep rest that comes from trusting that you are held securely in hands that created the universe yet are gentle enough to wipe away your tears. Your past does not define you. The mistakes you've made, the opportunities you've missed, the words you wish you could take back, they are not the final word on who you are or what your life will be. My forgiveness is not reluctant or partial. When I forgive, I remove your transgressions as far as the east is from the west. I cast them into the depths of the sea. And then I choose not to remember them anymore. If I, who knows you completely, can forgive so fully, can you not begin to forgive yourself? The voices that condemn you, that whisper you are not enough, that tell you it's too late for things to change, these are not my voice. My voice speaks life. My voice calls you worthy. My voice declares that with me, all things are possible. Listen closely for this voice. It doesn't shout or demand, but speaks with the tenderness of a parent to a beloved child. I am not distant from your suffering. I am right here in the middle of it with you. When you feel alone in your pain, remember that I know what it means to suffer. I took on flesh and experienced the full range of human emotion. I wept. I felt betrayal. I endured rejection. I am not the distant deity unmoved by your struggles. I am the God who draws near, who enters into your pain and sits with you in it. The healing you seek may not come in the way you expect. Sometimes I calm the storm. Other times I calm my child while the storm rages on. But be assured, I am always working for your good, even when you cannot see it or feel it. Trust is not the absence of doubt, but the choice to believe despite it. Choose trust today. Not because the circumstances warrant it, but because the one who holds the circumstances is worthy of it. Your life matters more than you can possibly comprehend. The unique blend of gifts, experiences, and perspective that make you who you are, they are needed in this world. There are people who need the specific comfort you can offer because of what you've endured. There are challenges that require the exact strength you've developed through your trials. Nothing about you is random or wasted. Even as you read these words, I am already at work in areas of your life you cannot see. Doors are being prepared to open. Hearts are being ready to receive you. Circumstances are being arranged for your blessing. My timing is perfect, not too soon, lest you be unprepared, not too late, lest you lose heart. The transformation you long for begins with a single step, turning your face toward me instead of toward your problems. When you fix your eyes on your troubles, they grow larger and more overwhelming. When you fix your eyes on me, you remember who is really in control. This shift in perspective changes everything. It doesn't mean your circumstances immediately transform, but it means you no longer face them alone or without hope. I know the weariness that has settled into your bones. The fatigue that comes not just from physical exertion but from carrying emotional burdens for too long. Come to me with this weariness. Lay it down at my feet. You were never meant to carry it alone. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Let me show you a different way to live, not driven by fear or performance, or the approval of others, but led by love and sustained by grace. Today marks a turning point if you will allow it to be. Not because the date itself holds any special power, but because in this moment you have a choice. Will you continue to rely on your own understanding, your own strength, your own solutions? Or will you lean into a love that has never failed, a wisdom that sees beyond the present moment, and a power that raised the dead to life? I am doing a new thing in your life. Even now, it is springing forth. The question is not whether I am at work, but whether you have eyes to see it. Look for the small signs of hope unfolding around you. The unexpected provision. The timely word of encouragement. The beauty that emerges in unlikely places. These are not coincidences. They are my whispers of love to you. A new life awaits you, not somewhere in the distant future, but beginning right here, right now. It starts with the simple acknowledgement that you cannot transform your life through sheer willpower, but you know the one who specializes in making all things new. I am that one, and I have been waiting for this moment with you. The moment when you finally realize that struggling against the current of my love for you has left you exhausted, and it's time to simply let that love carry you home. My child, you are on the brink of something beautiful. Trust me with this next step. I will not let you fall. I have never failed you, and I never will. The new life I offer you today is not one free from challenges, but it is one where you never face those challenges alone. It is a life where even the deepest pain has purpose, where joy runs underneath everything else like an underground river, sustaining you even in the desert seasons. Take my hand. It's time to begin again. My precious one, now that you've placed your hand in mine, I want to show you the path that lies before you. This journey of renewal isn't about suddenly erasing all your struggles or instantly transforming your circumstances. It's about something far more powerful. The gradual but certain renewal of your mind, your heart, and your spirit from the inside out. First, understand that true change begins in the quiet places no one else can see. Before the fruit appears on the branch, before the flower breaks through the soil, invisible work happens beneath the surface. This is how I work in you. While you sleep, while you go about your daily tasks, my spirit is gently reshaping your thoughts, healing wounded places in your heart, and planting seeds of new possibility within you. Every morning when you open your eyes, I am already there, waiting to guide you through the day ahead. These early moments are sacred. Before the noise of the world floods in, before demands pull you in different directions, pause and acknowledge my presence. Even a whispered, "Good morning, Father," invites me into your day in a special way. This simple act of recognition sets the tone for everything that follows. The path to your new life is walked one step at a time, one day at a time. Don't be overwhelmed by trying to see the entire journey at once. You don't need to know every turn in the road to take the next step. My light shines bright enough to illuminate the path directly before you. Trust that when you reach what now appears to be a dead end or an impassable obstacle, a way forward will become clear. Some days, taking even a single step will require all the courage you can muster. On those days, remember that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. I don't ask you to be fearless. I only ask you to place your fear in my hands and continue walking. Your fear does not disappoint me or surprise me. I understand the human heart completely, and I know that transformation is rarely comfortable. As you walk this path of renewal, you will encounter resistance, both from within yourself and from the world around you. Old habits of thinking will try to reassert themselves. Thoughts like, "Nothing ever changes," or "I'll always be this way," may surface. When they do, recognize them for what they are, not truth, but simply familiar patterns your mind has grown accustomed to. You have the authority to challenge these thoughts and replace them with my promises. The world around you may also resist your transformation. Some people have grown comfortable with who you've been and may struggle to embrace who you're becoming. Others may doubt the authenticity of the changes they see in you. Do not let their skepticism deter you. Their perspective is limited. They cannot see what I am doing in the secret places of your heart. Keep your eyes fixed on me, not on the opinions of others. Remember that renewal requires letting go. You cannot cling to old patterns, old wounds, old identities and embrace the new life I'm offering. There must be a releasing, a willingness to open your clenched fists and drop what no longer serves the person I've created you to be. This letting go isn't something you do once, but continually, each time you notice yourself reaching back for the familiar comfort of what once was. My child, understand that your past experiences have shaped you, but they need not define you. The painful chapters of your story, the betrayals, the losses, the failures, I can redeem every one of them. Nothing is wasted in my economy. The very experiences you wish had never happened may become the foundation of your greatest strength, your deepest compassion, your most effective ministry to others. When doubt creeps in, when you wonder if real change is possible for someone like you, remember who I am. I am the God who parted seas and raised the dead. I am the one who breathed stars into existence and knit you together in your mother's womb. Is anything too difficult for me? The transformation of your heart and mind is not only possible, it's the very work I delight in doing. Your part in this renewal is both simpler and more challenging than you might think. It's simple because it requires only your willing surrender, your daily yes to my work in your life. It's challenging because surrender goes against everything the world has taught you about being strong, independent, and self-sufficient. True strength, however, is found in this very surrender, in acknowledging that you were never meant to do life alone. Spend time with me daily. Not out of religious obligation, but out of recognition that just as your body needs food to sustain it, your spirit needs regular communion with me to thrive. This doesn't require elaborate rituals or perfect prayers. It simply means creating space in your life where you can be still and know that I am God. Where you can listen for my voice above all the other voices competing for your attention. My word is essential for your transformation. It isn't just ancient text, it's living and active, able to penetrate the deepest parts of you. As you read it, don't rush. Don't approach it as merely information to be gathered, but as food to be digested, as medicine to heal your wounded places. Let it challenge you, comfort you, guide you. Ask me to make it come alive to you in new ways. The renewal I offer extends to every area of your life, your thinking patterns, your emotional responses, your physical well-being, your relationships, your work. Nothing is too mundane for my attention. Nothing is too broken for my restoration. Invite me into all of it. The compartmentalized life is not the abundant life I promised. I want all of you, not just the parts you deem spiritual enough to offer me. As you walk this path, you will stumble. There will be days when old habits feel irresistible, when doubt seems more reasonable than faith, when pain clouds your vision of hope. These stumbles don't mean you've failed or that the path of renewal isn't for you. They are simply part of the journey. What matters is not that you never fall, but that you always allow me to help you rise again. My grace meets you in these stumbling places. It doesn't scold or shame you for falling. It gently lifts you up and sets your feet back on the path. My grace is not a one-time gift but a continuous flow available to you at every moment. It's the current that carries you when your own strength fails, the light that finds you in your darkest places, the love that never gives up on seeing you become whole. The enemy of your soul will try to convince you that your failures disqualify you from the new life I'm offering. He is the father of lies. When his whispers of shame and condemnation come, and they will come, counter them with truth. The truth that I chose you knowing every mistake you would ever make. The truth that my love for you has never been based on your performance. The truth that my power is made perfect in your weakness. Your healing and transformation will happen in community, not in isolation. I have placed specific people in your life to walk alongside you, to speak truth when you can't see it, to extend grace when you feel unworthy of it, to remind you of who you really are when you forget. Be courageous enough to let yourself be truly known by these people. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's the soil in which authentic connection grows. Pay attention to the small victories along the way. Renewal rarely happens in dramatic, overnight fashion. More often, it comes in moments you might miss if you're not watching for them, the trigger that didn't provoke your usual reaction, the fear that no longer paralyzed you, the forgiveness you were finally able to extend, the peace you felt in a situation that once would have shattered you. Celebrate these moments. They are evidence of my work in you. As your mind is renewed, you'll begin to see differently. Situations that once seemed hopeless will reveal hidden possibilities. People you've written off will show unexpected dimensions. Most importantly, you'll begin to see yourself as I see you, not defined by your worst moments or limited by your past failures, but radiantly alive with potential, beautifully crafted for purposes that will unfold throughout your lifetime. This renewed vision will give birth to renewed dreams. Dreams you abandoned long ago may stir again in your heart, or entirely new visions may form as you align more closely with my purposes. Don't dismiss these stirrings as impractical or impossible. They are often my invitations to co-create with me, to participate in bringing my kingdom to earth in ways uniquely suited to how I've designed you. The path is not always straight. Sometimes it winds through valleys where my presence seems distant. Sometimes it climbs mountains that test every ounce of your determination. Sometimes it doubles back through familiar territory so you can see it with new eyes. Trust the path even when you don't understand it. I see what you cannot see. I know what you do not know. Each turn has purpose. Your transformation is for you, yes, but it's also for others. As you experience renewal, you become a living testimony to my redemptive power. Your life becomes an invitation for others to believe that change is possible for them too. The comfort you receive in your trials equips you to comfort others with the same comfort you've received. Your healing becomes a channel through which healing flows to those around you. Remember that time moves differently in my kingdom. What seems like delay to you is often my perfect timing unfolding. The fruit you long to see in your life cannot be rushed any more than a farmer can force a seed to become a tree overnight. Trust the seasons of growth, even the ones that seem dormant. Deep roots are forming beneath the surface, preparing you to stand strong through whatever storms may come. My child, do you see it? The new life emerging in you? Perhaps it's just a tender shoot breaking through hard ground. Perhaps it's the first fragile bud forming on what appeared to be a dead branch. Or perhaps it's already blooming in ways you never imagined possible. Wherever you are in this process, know this: what I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. This is my promise. This is my delight. This is my purpose that cannot be thwarted. Take a deep breath now. Feel my presence surrounding you, filling you, strengthening you for the journey ahead. You are not who you once were, and you are not yet who you will become. But you are exactly where you need to be in this moment, held securely in a love that will never let you go, guided by wisdom that never fails, empowered by strength that is made perfect in weakness. This is the way of renewal. This is the path to your new life. My faithful one, as we come to this moment of completion, I want you to look ahead with eyes of faith to the new life that awaits you. This new life isn't somewhere in the distant future. It begins right now, with the choice to see yourself as I see you. In this new life, you no longer walk bent beneath the weight of your past. You stand tall, knowing that your identity rests not in what you've done or what's been done to you, but in whose you are. You are mine, chosen, redeemed, and deeply loved. Let this truth sink into the marrow of your bones. Let it reshape how you move through each day. From this moment forward, fear no longer has the final word in your decisions. Where once you held back, afraid of failure or rejection, you now step forward with holy confidence. Not confidence in your own abilities, but in the one who promises to complete the good work he began in you. This is not arrogance, it is faith made visible. In your new life, joy becomes your constant companion, not the superficial happiness that depends on perfect circumstances, but the deep, unshakable joy that flows from knowing you are never alone. Even in your darkest moments, this joy remains like an underground spring, ready to rise up and refresh your weary spirit. Watch as your perspective shifts in this new life. Problems that once seemed insurmountable now appear as opportunities for my power to be displayed. The impossible situations in your family, your work, your health, I specialize in these very impossibilities. Where human strength ends, my divine intervention begins. Your relationship with me grows deeper in this new life. No longer is it based on religious obligation or fear, but on intimate connection. You begin to recognize my voice more clearly, distinguishing it from all the other voices clamoring for your attention. You learn to move to the rhythm of my grace rather than the frantic pace of this world. In this new life, you discover the unique purpose I've woven into the fabric of your being. The gifts I've given you, the experiences I've allowed, the passions I've placed in your heart, all of these combine to equip you for works I prepared in advance for you to do. No one else can fulfill your specific calling. The world needs what only you can offer. Relationships transform in your new life. As you experience my unconditional love, you become able to love others without the need to control or manipulate. You learn to set healthy boundaries while keeping your heart open. You extend forgiveness not because others deserve it, but because you've been forgiven much. Your presence becomes a safe harbor for the hurting. The storms of life will still come. This new life isn't immune to challenges. But you weather these storms differently now. Instead of being tossed about by every wave of circumstance, you remain anchored to my unchanging character. You've built your life on the rock that cannot be shaken, and though the winds may howl, your foundation stands secure. Physical circumstances may change slowly, but inner transformation happens daily as you embrace this new life. Peace replaces anxiety. Patience crowds out impulsiveness. Kindness flows where bitterness once festered. Your thoughts align more closely with my thoughts, and your desires increasingly reflect my heart for you and for the world. My beloved, I am already seeing the person you are becoming. When you look in the mirror and still see only flaws and failures, I see my masterpiece taking shape. My vision of you isn't blinded by love, it's illuminated by it. I see the finished work even as you experience the sometimes painful process of becoming. This new life is not something you create through sheer determination. It unfolds naturally as you remain connected to me, like a branch drawing life from the vine. Your part is simply to abide, to stay close, to keep your heart open, to return quickly when you wander. My life flowing through you produces what your own striving never could. Remember that your testimony, the story of how I've moved you from darkness to light, from death to life, carries power. Don't hesitate to share it. Someone needs to hear exactly what you've experienced. Your willingness to be vulnerable about both your struggles and my faithfulness may be the key that unlocks another's prison of despair. As you embrace this new life, old things naturally fall away. Habits that once seemed impossible to break lose their grip as they're replaced by healthier patterns. Relationships that pulled you back into darkness fade as life-giving connections take center stage. The process isn't always easy, but it is always worth it. I see the questions in your heart. Is this real? Can I truly live this way? Will it last? My answer is yes. What I offer isn't a temporary emotional high but a sustainable way of living, powered not by your strength but by my spirit within you. This is the abundant life I promised, not perfect but full. Not without pain, but never without purpose. Take my hand once more. Step fully into this new life that awaits you. It's been prepared specifically for you, with your needs, your wounds, your gifts in mind. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You don't have to have everything figured out. You simply need to say yes to the invitation I extend to you right now. My child, my beloved, my treasure, a new life is yours today. Receive it with open hands and an expectant heart. I am making all things new starting with you.